and happy holidays from Onebridge. My name is Chris Hoyt. I'm Marketing Director here at Onebridge.
Hi, I'm Lalit Verma. Happy holidays. I'm the Senior Vice President of Data Science and Machine Learning here at Onebridge.
If you were lucky enough to get one of our holiday cards, you may have noticed this year that we used an AI-generated holiday image. If you have not gotten one of our holiday cards, we will show it here on the screen for you. Now, we did that quickly, but we will take another look in a moment. If you are like most people, this holiday scene probably looked fine to you. Pretty generic maybe, like the little fireplace Christmas scenes you've seen all over this time of year. However, if you take a second look, you'll notice that the image is in fact a complete mess. We'll show it here. There are two fireplaces stacked on top of each other. There are melted cookies on the mantle. The elf's hands are distorted. The polar bear doesn't really seem to belong there. And oh yeah, Santa's face is actually terrifying. The difference between these two impressions, looking fine at first glance and then rather disturbing upon closer inspection, is what we want to talk about today because it's a great example of something your brain has in common with AI: zero-shot learning. You see, neural networks behind AI are inspired and modeled by how we observe our own brains working. As we experience things in real life, we build stronger and stronger neural connections for things as they become familiar.
So don't just let the technology fool you. AI is pretty in its infancy, and it's learning in itself, and it is learning what we have learned, what we are teaching it. So just stay tuned until you hear next what Chris has to reveal to you.
Okay, so when you encounter something that you've never seen before, the neurons in your brain fire quickly along familiar pathways to try and identify as quickly as possible what it is you just saw. While a useful feature for survival, it is often wrong, if not at least off. I'm sure you've had the experience of seeing a small animal dart by out of the corner of your eye, and your brain immediately registers, oh, what was that? Maybe it was a cat, only to look at it and upon further inspection realize that it's a raccoon. This is a great example of what we call zero-shot learning. It is the most accessible guess available to your brain based on past experience and conditioning.
And Chris, I would like to add here, in my own experience, this has happened to me. I was walking by, something flew by my side, and later on I realized that it was not a furry cat, but it was a polythene that was flying around. So things can happen. Our own brain is tricked by the patterns that it is used to seeing before and wrongly matches that to what we already know. But later on, we go and correct it and teach our brain new patterns.
This is what happened to your brain when you first saw our holiday card. At first glance, it looked normal because your brain didn't actually take the time to really look at it. It just glanced at it, matching it to all the other mediocre, overproduced holiday images that you are frankly pummeled with this time of year. This is how generative AI works. Services like DALL-E, Stable Diffusion, and Midjourney are all using this kind of zero-shot learning to create images that you request. They take past data they are trained on and give a request like, let's say, Santa the accountant, its best guess.
Yeah, and you can see that when you put together different pieces of image, move pixels around, in a busy picture, it might look okay, but when you have a closer look, things might be horribly off, and it may make no sense actually.
Yeah, like Santa's face. Zero-shot learning in AI has the same limitations as your own brain. In fact, we call it zero-shot because it has zero reasoning. There are no steps or process involved. There's no thinking it through. It's zero as opposed to a multi-step process. And just like your brain, you get better results from AI when you tell it to slow down and take another look. People who are able to get amazing results from AI are good at taking the AI through a process of reasoning. And this is loosely what we call prompt engineering. You see, while the results from AI are impressive, AI can only get these great results by piggybacking on our own reasoning process. Reasoning is something we're still trying to figure out in our own brains and how it works for us naturally. We are a long way away from really getting AI to be really good at it. As a final note, both the reason AI can generate a kind of image like this and the reason your brain at first glance accepted it is because of another phenomenon that you're probably familiar with called mediocrity. Commercialized holiday images are so prevalent and so generic. There's plenty for the AI to learn from, but there's also plenty for our brain to get tired of looking at, and so we just don't pay much attention anymore. The more generic or mediocre something is, the easier it is for AI to reproduce it. Here's a really great example. It's pretty easy to train an AI to mimic an art style like Thomas Kincaid. All the paintings basically look alike anyway. And it's hard to tell one from another, and after a while they all kind of blend together. That's the very definition of generative AI. But what is impossible for an AI to do from a zero-shot prompt is something like a Norman Rockwell painting. A Norman Rockwell painting is full of precise detail, cultural and story context, and unlike our AI-generated holiday card image, Norman Rockwell paintings get better the longer you look at them.
And Chris, you are so right. When you throw so many common generic stuff at people, we often suffer from something called hazing.
Yes.
So same thing happens with the AI large language models also. They suffer from hallucination problem as well. And they may make wrong connection, which still might
sounds right, but it isn't right.
But they aren't right. So
yeah, absolutely. Here at Onebridge, we understand that AI has been all the hype this year. And in some ways, it's very well deserved. It's going to be a big part of business as we move forward in the next year. But in other ways, it is certainly overhyped. While AI can be a great productivity booster for humans, it is hardly a replacement at this point. So, as we go into 2024, we predict that AI will continue to become a part of any sustainable business strategy, but we also predict that the limitations of AI will start to overpower the hype. So we at Onebridge wish you all a very happy and very human holiday season. And if you do want help understanding how you can leverage AI in your business strategy in 2024,